Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Enrique and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Usur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Education Ministry to investigate possible breach. Economy Minister lashes out at the opposition. And motion to remove PIDF funding defeated.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
A day after FBC News revealed that a stop work order has been issued for the WG Friendship Plaza in Suva, the Education Ministry has now become involved. The construction of the plaza has been brought to a halt after the building structure is said to have encroached into the boundary of Holy Trinity Anglican Primary School. Today, FBC News approached the Education Minister on claims that the construction has also breached the school's environment that includes students. Kelly Vadala with this report.
There have been accusations thrown by the school that the workers employed to construct this skyscraper have put students at risk. This includes unethical dress code by the workers in view of the students.
I haven't been able to get in touch with either the head teacher or the management, but my team at headquarters has been alerted, and obviously they'll be looking into this issue. I guess you mentioned about how the workers are roaming freely around, etc., and it's not going too well with the school community. So that is something that the team has to go back and talk to the head of school and come back.
The minister adding she will not let the matter lie if the claims turn out to be true.
If what you've said to me is what's been happening in terms of the movement and the attitude of the workers, knowing that the school is there's a school nearby, and what you've said about the dress code, etc., I would see it as very inappropriate, but like I said, I am not aware of the finer details of that.
The school has also raised issues about the noise level from the construction, which has hindered students during class time. The stop work order was issued recently and the company has been given a week to clear debris before a total shutdown of all works at the site. The school has also informed us that the matter is before the court. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Economy Minister Aya Said Qayyum lashed out at the opposition, criticising their misinterpretation of facts in response to the 2019-2020 national budget. Said Qayyum accused the opposition side for personalising issues, attempting character assassination, contradictions and deliberate manipulations in Parliament. Kritika Kumar reports.
Opposition MP Nico Nawaikula's comment that the government side should hang themselves has been described as hypocrisy to the highest level by the Economy Minister.
Honourable Nawaikula says this government is not only cutting capital expenditure, but also operational expenditure. Of course, Honourable Nawaikula, we want to curb operating spending and bring greater operational efficiency. We don't want to be like your leader.
Aya Said Qayyum says opposition leader Siti Venirambuka has manipulated statistics to suit his agenda.
Most of his computations of average economic growth rates were incorrect, Mr. Speaker, sir. These numbers were also regurgitated by other members of the opposition who spoke after him. They never bothered to check these numbers through official independent sources, but rely on incompetent advisors who do not seem to understand the simple difference between real and nominal GDP.
The minister also took a swipe at Rambuka for talking about his father in Parliament.
That man will continue to be honourable even after he's not in Parliament. Many of these people won't be honourable once they leave Parliament, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, so let me tell you one thing. He has actually admonished me for not being severe enough on the opposition. So, Honourable Leader of Opposition, you need to know that. Gone are those days. He said, I'm too soft. He said, you should always speak the truth and be just, because you have a leader that actually allows you to do so.
Said Qayyum says this is the budget for the future of Fiji and will protect the development gains, a decade of development under Bainimarama boom. He adds they have been managing the finance sustainably as they are borrowing to build assets to raise productive capacity of the economy. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Efforts by some senior opposition members to remove the $1.2 million allocated to the Pacific Island Development Forum was defeated in Parliament. The motion was brought up by Anare Chale and was supported by comments from opposition members claiming the forum is now irrelevant. Minister for Economy Aya Said Kayum and Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama have strongly refuted these claims. Ali Kimbia with the story.
Claims were being made by the opposition members that the PIDF has no relevance to Fiji.
There need to be a review. I think the reason why it was established at that time is really a political move by the government. But I think it's just a duplication of Forum Secretariat.
I believe it is time to disengage, and perhaps when we disengage, the value we have seen in PIDF.
In clarifying the role of PIDF, Minister for Economy Aya Said Kayum says it is not politically attuned to those that donate more funds.
The NGOs and civil society do not actively participate in the forum's activities. It is very state-driven forum, whereas PIDF is open to non-governmental organizations, and I'm sure he knows members of various NGOs who have participated in various forums.
Vurenge Bainimarama says PIDF gives more opportunities to NGOs and civil societies to take part in high-level discussions.
In PIDF, we had more members than PIF. And it's not, the PIDF was not established to counter PIF.
He adds the forum has also done a tremendous job in creating awareness on climate change. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
No other government has taken into consideration the welfare of the nation's servicemen like the Fiji First government. Minister for Infrastructure Chonio Sumate says all military people who came into government in the past have done nothing for Fiji's servicemen. Kelly Vadala reports.
During the budget debate, the infrastructure minister set the record straight on how servicemen have benefited under the Bainimarama government.
People used to get injured in Lebanon. Nobody would make sure that they got workers' compensation. Nobody. Nobody did that. All the people that had been in the military come to government, nobody did until he fixed the workers' compensation in the 2012.
Usamate says Fiji's soldiers have fought in many areas around the world and deserve to be recognized.
We have had servicemen that have been serving our country in the wars, World War I, World War II, they went to Malaya, they went to Christmas Island, they got involved in the aftercare fund. All the military people who came into government, prime ministers, they did not do anything until Bainimarama, Honorable Bainimarama, fixed and allowed them to enter into the aftercare fund in 2008.
The introduction of the Aftercare Fund after the Bainimarama government enabled the compensation of war veterans who lost their lives and were injured during World War I and World War II. This also includes peacekeepers who served in the Middle East. Also, for the first time ever, allowance given to RFMF personnel serving as peacekeepers was increased from $30 to about $130 per day. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The decision to close Fiji's missions in 3 countries was taken by the Cabinet last December. Foreign Affairs Minister Nia Seruratu says the responsibility will be reassigned to the missions in Dubai, Washington and New York, following the closure of the missions in South Africa, Brazil and Ethiopia. Lena Rees reports.
The minister says when establishing missions, the government not only wants to look at the political gains, but the trade benefits as well.
Politically, there were reasons why. But it's not only politics, but we have to look at the other benefits as well, trade being one. We must have returns in investments, and that is very, very critical because missions, they cost a lot to establish missions. So we have achieved a lot.
SADELPA MP Michaela Leawera then questioned a $700,000 allocation for the mission in Wellington.
Upgrade of Fiji House in Wellington. That last year it was 1 million. You know, it's 700, but at 1 million, was that enough? Did that complete the building?
Because Wellington is very susceptible to earthquakes. So we are currently looking at the particular property itself. We may actually sell it. So we are looking at how we can perhaps talk to the Indonesian government to be able to maybe sell off this embassy, this property, and then looking at alternative property.
Fiji owns the properties for missions buildings in London, New Zealand and Australia, while it rents the properties to missions in other countries. Lena Rees, FBC News.
Still to come, West records smooth crushing season and PCN director to take a fresh plea. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Oya uvasit sai sai lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong Nambula FM nambandua ya nasere.
Gua do kimeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere. Wana mtuma Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere mwaluan.
Na evango fanya na tao.
Cane crushing at the Lautoka mill has been progressing well over the past week. Farmers in Nadi have prepared well for this crushing season, and cane supply to the mill has been consistent to date. Felipe Naikaso with the details.
Maintaining regular cane supply has been the priority for many farmers living around the cane belt areas in Nadi.
I've already harvested my sugar cane in my field. It's, I think we got about 25 trucks already harvested. It's about 3 acres I've already harvested now.
Cane farmers are still determined to harvest more cane than the previous season, despite facing issues.
I'm ready to harvest my cane, but the only issue is that the railway carts take long to arrive, which causes a delay for us. But we are still adamant that we will reach our target.
It's good that harvesting is started, because the dry season is coming out now. But our gang is still not operating because of lack of labours.
Some farmers have also indicated that they're happy with the assistance being given by the government. Meanwhile, some lorry drivers and cane farmers who FBC News spoke with at the Lautoka mill today have said that they have complied with the weight restrictions of 16.5 tons. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
We now join our West reporter Felipe Naikaso, who has been closely following the crushing season. Felipe, how has FSC rated the crushing at the Lautoka mill so far?
Yes, Jackie, the Fiji Sugar Corporation has been pleased with the response shown from the farmers here in the Western Division with this year's cane crushing season. The FSC boss Graham Clark says that the Lautoka mill has been more encouraging over the past week. The Lautoka mill has so far crushed 1,000 tons of sugarcane over the weekend, and it is expected to crush 2,000 tons of sugarcane by today. Also, the president of the Fiji Cane Lorry Association has pledged his support for cane deliveries to revert to normal as quickly as possible. The FSC also anticipates that at the end of this week, they will be well into the crushing season for 2019. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that update, Felipe. Minister for Women, Mereseni Vuniwaga, is disappointed with the type of budget responses from the opposition. Vuniwaga says for the last 2 days, she's heard opposition members claiming the government takes from the poor and gives to the rich. She says some MPs from the opposition side continue to claim the government is numb, deaf and mute to the needs of Fijians.
I ask, Honourable Speaker, which Fijian people are we talking about? The Fijian people living with disabilities who, for the first time in 2018, under this government, now have a law specifically made for them, making them visible in a way they never were before? Or are we now deaf, blind and mute because of the disability allowance that persons living with disabilities now receive, which no other government has ever granted to them before?
The Fiji Broadcasting Corporation is not the only media that benefits from the Asia Pacific Institute Broadcasting and Development funding. Communications Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum has clarified the funding in the national budget is the government's contribution to be a member as a subscription to AIBD. He says the allocation helps local media to connect with other broadcasters in the Asia Pacific region. He says Fiji TV has also been attending meetings organized by the AIBD.
So there's a lot of benefits also to the other media organizations. If they want to participate in, it's up to them, and they pay their own costs. This is simply the Fijian government's subscription. to this particular organization, which gives a lot of benefit, a lot of training. There's a lot of connectivities and synergies that develop with other broadcasters in the Asia-Pacific region.
Opposition MP Andilithi Ngyoning-Baravi today moved a motion for the funding to be decreased by $70,000, which was defeated. The Suva Magistrates Court has granted the application made by the People's Community Network Director Semithi Ngalawasa to take a fresh plea. Ngalawasa's counsel made an application to vacate his guilty plea earlier, and he will now take a plea next month. He is charged in relation to inquiries into the controversial Langi Langi housing project, a government housing initiative for low-income earners. Ngalawasa is charged with failure to furnish information to the Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission. It is alleged that in January, Ngalawasa failed to furnish documents to the FCCC, such as building plans, contracts, receipts, details of payments collected, audited financial reports, bank statements, among other documents. The case has been adjourned to July 16th for plea. Alleged drug smugglers Justin Ho and Frederick Epeli will take plea next month. 28-year-old Ho and 40-year-old Epeli are charged with 1 count each of unlawful exportation of illicit drugs. Today in the Lautoka High Court, the state asked for 7 days to file the amended information. It is alleged last December in Nandi, Epeli and Ho, without lawful authority, facilitated in exporting more than 2 kilograms of cocaine and illicit drugs to Sydney, Australia, via the national carrier. It's also alleged that on the same day, the duo engaged in the dealing for the transfer, transport, supply, use, manufacture and sale of cocaine and illicit drugs. They will reappear on the 3rd of next month. And later in sports with Jamie, Thai-level women out to create history in Skipper Cup final. But first, Rachel joins us for the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break. Fiji Airways gets Skytrack 4-star rating award. And in Growing Fiji, Clearway traffic management restriction plan for Suva. Stay with us.
For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singapore.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Leading business tonight, Fiji Airways has joined a select group of elite airlines after being awarded the coveted Skytrack 4-star rating. Fiji Airways joins airlines such as Emirates, British Airways, Etihad, Air New Zealand and Qantas. At the same time, the national carrier has also leapfrogged from 4th to 1st place to take up Best Airline Staff in the Asia-Pacific region, beating out Qantas, Air New Zealand and Virgin Australia in this category. The Skytrack World Airline Awards are one of the most sought-after quality accolades for airlines. The stage is set for the first ever FBC Trade Tech Show. FBC Events team leader Roby Solanki says preparations are well underway and there has been overwhelming response from businesses. Solanki says all 48 booth spaces have been sold and companies are looking forward to showcase their products to Fijians.
It's the first of its kind. So the response from the public, from the clients, is overwhelming because now we're at the stage where we actually have like a wait list of clients wanting to participate, but we actually don't have the space to cater for them.
The FBC Trade Tech Show will be held from the 27th to the 30th of this month at the FMF Gymnasium in Suva. And Sean from HSC Bank joins us now with the latest from the currency market.
Data released from New Zealand showed its annual current account deficit widened in the March quarter. Its annual deficit was 10.6 billion or 3.6% of GDP. In seasonally adjusted terms, however, the current account deficit was $2.61 billion. Meanwhile, dairy product prices declined at the global dairy trade auction today. The index was down 3.8%, declining for a third straight time, led by whole milk powder. In Europe, while speaking at the ECB forum in Sintra, the European Central Bank president said that if the economic situation wanes further in the coming months, the central bank would announce further stimulus. And in the US, the traders are looking ahead for tomorrow's announcement from the Federal Reserve on its interest rate decision. So let's see what impact that will have on our local currency basket. And that's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. Here, today's exchange rates are set this morning. A fair day for Fiji. Our dollar continued making good progress with gains against the Chinese yuan, the Aussie and Kiwi dollar, but slipped slightly against the US dollar, the PNG Kina, the euro, and the Japanese yen. Looking at the commodities market, oil prices continues its downward trend, closing at $51 per barrel. Gold went up again, ending the day at $1,344 per ounce, and silver closed at $14.97 per ounce. And in Growing Fiji tonight, a clearway traffic management restriction will be placed on the curbside lane of strategically important roads around Suva from next month. The peak periods for the restriction are between 9:30 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Fiji Roads Authority Chief Executive Jonathan Moore says this restriction will prevent all vehicles except buses at designated bus bays from stopping, picking up, dropping off and parking during peak traffic periods in both directions. Moore says the FRA will be working with schools along these routes to designate specific drop-off and pick-up zones. He says the clearways will be marked with a dashed yellow line in addition to sign posts. The first implementation, stage 1, is the McGregor, Bow and Roa Street routes. If the restrictions are not adhered to, a fine will be issued to the drivers. And that's business for tonight. Jamie's up next with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening in sports tonight. Latui coach continues to produce top local players, and Nasinu football out to redeem themselves against Rewa. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasari Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Development of rugby in the country looks bright with more local-based players breaking into the national team. While there's a number of people behind this growth, one man that's been at the forefront is Swai Shipping Fijian Latui coach Senirusi Servakula. Akula Dama with this report.
Having 9 local players in the Flying Fijians Extended World Cup squad is unheard of since the sport turned professional in 1995. Even the head coach acknowledges the effort.
Yeah, it's good to see some of the younger players pushing through from our programs here in Fiji, and you know there's a lot of competition for spots in for the final selection for the Rugby World Cup, and you know I really expect these young players to perform well and really be pressing hard to make the final selection.
Senirusi Servakula is one of the local coaches behind the progress of our local players.
That's how a coach has been judged by the performance, and these are the pathways. So this is how we coach the local players so that they can go and play test rugby.
One of the local players who is expected to make the World Cup squad is Mosese Voka, the Fijian Latui captain. Meanwhile, Voka and the Latui will take on Western Force in Perth, Australia at 11:40 p.m. on Saturday. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
The Thai level women's rugby team are out to create history in the final of the Skipper Cup on Saturday. In the first year of participation, the young Thai level women are aiming to come out victors when they face the might of Nandrunga at ANZ Stadium. Faria Begum reports.
First year into the competition and a maiden final, but the ultimate aim remains, and that is to win the final.
It's a blessing for the team because it's our first time and we were sacrificing how to make it to the final.
Fijiana rep Priscilla Siata is overjoyed with the progress her team has made in 2019.
It's the first time for us women to be part of the skipper competition, and it's a good opportunity for us women to be able to involve ourselves in the 15th competition, especially the skipper.
The match will take place at ANZ National Stadium in Suva this Saturday. Faria Begum, FBC Sports.
The Nasinu football players are in for an intense week of preparation for their Vodafone Premier League match against Rewa on Sunday. Nasinu was handed a 4-3 defeat by Lautoka last weekend in a game that exposed a few weak areas. Faria Begum with more.
The Nasinu mentor says in preparation for Rewa, the team will need to up their game.
The problem has been always finishing, and we have been working on our finishing, and I think we have to devote more time.
His Rewa counterpart knows too well that this season hasn't panned out as expected, and this match is a grudge battle.
I totally agree with that when we beat them on the first round and beating them on the Fiji fact. But this game, they will take it to another level because they knew now it's very important that they make sure now it's about surviving and who's going to be to stay on the top flight for this year as well. So it's going to be a very key game for them as well.
Rewa hosts Nasinu at Rathukumbau Park at 3 p.m. this Sunday. Faria Begum, FBC Sports.
Rugby League's eligibility laws have once again come into the spotlight. The Kiwis have already lost plenty of players to this week's opponents, Tonga, while the Lure of Samoa has claimed even more. But as this report from TVNZ explains, not all Kiwis of Pacific Island heritage are eager to switch. Fijian middleweight champion Sebastian the Sniper Singh is not mincing his words ahead of his next fight. Singh takes on Silivani Nawai in the South Pacific Boxing Promotions Battle in the West Boxing Rumble event later this month and is certain of the outcome. Apanisa Wangai Rondobu reports.
The two boxers will be meeting in the ring for the first time, and Singh says that he will bring his A-game to Nawai and defend his title.
In my mind, I believe that there's no way in the world this title is getting off my hands on the 29th. I'm bringing back the title to Suva without a doubt.
In another fight, James Singh will battle it out in the heavyweight contest with Peter Rongida.
It's a dream come true, man. You know, because I started from the amateur, I was looking up on this guy. I said, one day I'll fight him, one day I'll fight him. So it's here now.
There will also be other fights, including that in the super middleweight title fight between Abe Chan and Tomung Onabo. The program will take place next Saturday at Prince Charles Park from 5 p.m. Apenisa Wangarandobu, FBC Sports.
Sam Kerr scored 4 goals to become the Women's World Cup joint top scorer as Australia beat Jamaica 4-1 today. The win securing Australia's spot in the last 16. Following the match, Kerr revealed the inspiration behind the heroic performance. In another match, 6-time World Player of the Year Mata scored a record 17th World Cup goal to clinch Brazil's place in the last 16 with a 1-0 win over Italy, who topped Group C on goal difference. Eoin Morgan broke the record for the number of sixes in a one-day international with an astonishing display of batting in England's 150-run World Cup win over Afghanistan. The captain hammered 17 sixes in making 148 from 71 balls. Morgan went past the previous best of 16, jointly held by Chris Gayle, A.B. de Villiers and Rohit Sharma. England's total of 25 sixes also set a new record for any team in an ODI innings. In today's play of the day, French under-20 rugby player Louis Carbonel kicking a monster penalty in their World Rugby Championship match against South Africa. That's it from Sports Tonight. You can join Angie later on with weather, and in our new media segment, Facebook announces wildly ambitious plan to bring cryptocurrency to the masses. Details after the break.
मैं नवनीत नंद नम्बुआ से जैसे प्रेनी नॉर्थ मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Facebook revealed its long-awaited cryptocurrency plans, announcing Project Libra, a new type of digital money designed for the billions of people using its apps and social network. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. After a drizzly Wednesday morning, conditions turned out fine. On the other side of things, we're only 2 days away from the weekend. I just thought of reminding you since the weather looks fine ahead. Now, taking a look in the west, what better way to spend it than under the glistening sun? Eastwards from Pekhabar to Suva, a gloomy day experienced with light showers expected by later tonight. And up north, super comfortable and easy to move about, especially when it's bright but cool. At sea, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 9:13 p.m. with low tide at 3 a.m. Sunrise at 6:36. For tomorrow, it will be a bit light today, but with more sunshine. Tomorrow's temps, it will fluctuate by a degree. Some centers will be at 29, while others will see 30 degrees. And looking further on to Friday, the most awaited fun day where sunshine will beam through. I am pretty sure that excited you. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Lots of excitement coming through from weather. Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, has Roy Krishna made the right choice to play for India for a year?
I think it's great for him to go to India, and I just wish him all the best and good luck.
Yes, he does. He deserves it, and he will really go far.
I think it's a very good decision because an athlete needs to challenge himself constantly, and it'll be an inspiration for the youngsters in Fiji.
It's a good decision. I think it's a good move. It's a good move for him and a very good move. It should be an inspiration for all the Fijian players that yes, there are chances we can develop soccer.
He has made a right decision to play in India so that he can get the name.
KMC rolling goes for at least 10 years during your youth time, and after that you have to establish yourself. So, I mean, the bottom line is the money that you get that you want to establish yourself after that sport. So if he gets enough money from there, no problem. I think I support his move.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, a pigeon in pink. This rare bird was captured by a photographer in the UK.
Wow, what kind of majestic bird is that? Well, would you believe this beautiful creature might be a pink pigeon? Photographer Ben Hanks snapped this picture of what could be a Nassinus mayeri pink pigeon at a park in the UK. But the strange thing is, SWNS reports this exotic pigeon is native of Mauritius and Madagascar in the Indian Ocean. Also, there are fewer than 500 of these majestic birds left on Earth. Ben, who works as an accountant, was having lunch with a friend when he saw the bird. I have never seen anything like this before, and we were both very confused when we first spotted it. The rare pigeon is listed as vulnerable by conservationists, but there might be another reason for the bird's unique color. In 2015, there were reports of pink pigeons flying around the UK. Upon investigation, it turned out it was a pigeon keeper who dyed the birds that color in order to keep falcons away. So maybe, just maybe, this is one of them.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Education Ministry to investigate possible breach claims. Economy Minister lashes out at the opposition. And motion to remove PIDF funding defeated. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. A poll question this week we're asking, should municipal councils take a lead role in capturing stray dogs? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day sent in by Lika Ratu from the Mamanutha Groups, embracing the beauty of the Mamanutha sunset. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. Follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, neva ngomal kay leloma, ngongai nakas untuk makarong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai sa Lambasa, ya untuk talita na warong ng Bula FM nambang 2 na sere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Wana tunga ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere nawaluan.
Na vengo fane na tao ne ngo singa toka, kita untuk talita kana Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.